What is up, everyone? Welcome to Uncage Your Lion. I am your host, your friend, your mentor, your coach, Sean Woodward. And welcome to the fourth episode of Uncage Your Lion, where we discuss all sorts of different things to give you the inspiration and motivation to be able to go out into the world and really let your lion come out and accomplish big things. So we're going to talk about a hot topic. A lot of people talk about this. There's a lot of books written about it, a lot of different speeches, a lot of philosophies. It's leadership. But there's something about leadership that has to be there regardless of your style. And it's two things. It's set the tone and set the standard. If you are a leader, you have to do those two things regardless of whatever your style may be, because there's different styles of leadership, and you have to figure out, based upon your personality, your industry, there's certain things that work that may not work in another industry or may not work for certain people. And there's things that work specifically in certain industries, and there's certain things that work for certain people, personalities, or the type of personalities you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis, your coworkers. So you have to look at these things, and you have to know when to adjust your style, right? So, but let's get into it. Set the tone. What do I mean by set the tone? You have to make sure that the message that you're conveying to your coworkers, you are setting the tone every single day. What is it that you are trying to accomplish? What is it that is the team goal that you're trying to accomplish, that you need to set the tone? This is what we're going to do. And set the tone to the day, to the month, to the year, to get to the goal that you need to get to. You need to make sure that you're conveying that message on a daily basis to your people by setting the tone, setting that this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to accomplish. We are not going to allow any kind of situation throw us off our game. If we got to pivot, we'll pivot, but it doesn't change the goal. It just means it just changes a little bit how maybe we get there. But at the end of the day, this is the plan. This is what we're going to do. And we're going to set the tone. And these are the expectations that we have. And this is what I'm going to hold you accountable to. You have to set the tone, and you have to do it daily. You can never let off. If you let off, then what happens is that the tone now changes. The tone becomes something more of a wishy-washy thing, and it doesn't, this is, it's okay. We take a day off, no. It's always on, full court press. That doesn't mean we can't have fun. We should have fun while we do everything. But the real fun is once that goal gets accomplished, right? Then we celebrate. We don't over-celebrate, but we celebrate. And then we move on to next. We got to set the tone. And then the second thing is set the standard. We have to make sure that the message that we're conveying to our people, that the standard of performance is laid out and it's clear. These are the things that we are going to judge you on and hold you accountable to. You have to hand it out. You can't just say it. You have to let them see it. They should know what it is that you expect of them every single day, every single month, every single year. You have to have it laid out. And I'm not saying bombard people with all this sorts of information. I'm talking about these standards are ingrained regardless of whatever the actual goal is. So let's just say in my industry, okay, let's say my goal is to sell 250 cars this month, right? Just as an example. That's the goal. That's what we're going after. Okay, cool. That's this month's goal. Now, inside of being able to get there, there's a certain standard of performance that's expected of my people in order to accomplish that goal. So there's going to be a list of things, and not to divulge too much information because I find these things as personal to me, and these are things that are personal to my team. But I have a list made out of these are the things that I expect my people to do, and this judges whether or not their performance is good enough, whether they're meeting the expectations, whether they're meeting the standards. And it's a list of things. And no, it's not, hey, you got to make 50 phone calls. Okay, that's an action. That actually, because of one of the things on there is, of course, going to be the continued quality improvement of their work, right? That 50 phone calls is a piece. That's a reaction from holding yourself to that standard. So you don't get caught up in well, we're going to just set the bar to this. It's no, we're going to set the bar based upon action and what the action of those individual people are, and we're going to measure them based on those actions. That's how you properly set a standard with your people. Now, for those that aren't in leadership, you are in leadership. Everybody's in some type of leadership role, whether it be in your home, whether it be as far as to yourself. It could just be based upon if you are, let's say, a salesperson, you actually are a leader to yourself. You could be a leader to others. You could be set as an example. But more importantly, let's just take it back to yourself. Do you have standards? Do you hold yourself accountable to those standards? Do you even have them written out? Do you even know what those standards are? Just like I have standards for my team, I have standards for myself. These are the things that I'm gonna hold myself accountable to, because I know that these are the actions I'm putting in place, and then with that, there's going to be specific things that I'm going to do that go along with those standards I have set. So you have to set standards when you're in leadership. Always, you have to make sure they're clear as day, so that way, and it's much easier to manage off of it, to lead off of it, to be able to coach off of it, because I can always just go back and take a coworker and pull them into an office and say, hey, listen, this, and we know what the standard is. Does this meet the standard? No, it doesn't. Okay, great. So these are the adjustments I need you to make in order to hit that standard. And a lot of leaders, they just don't do that. They just don't coach. They don't give feedback. My people constantly get communication from me, constantly. Sometimes I have fallen in the past off to the wayside, but either way, and now I'm getting even better at where it's a planned communication. It's like they know it's coming. It's not just like, okay, it's like a one-on-one conversation that we're going to have, daily, and it's going to happen possibly, around this time, or, maybe it's just a quick little blurb. No, it's hey, we're going to sit down face-to-face time, boom, we're going to have this conversation on a daily basis. And we're going to talk about, okay, and because I'm a leader of leaders, it's my responsibility to make sure that my leaders are leading their people, right? Because it's a trickle-down effect. So that's a whole nother subject that we could get into, is when you're a leader of leaders, and the proper way of handling that, because that's a totally different skill set that you have to have, but it has the same principles. Because if you have set standards, those standards apply to anybody. It even applies to people that are above you. So know your standards. So set the tone and set the standards. All right, let's have a great day, and I'll see you guys next week. Just make sure that you're living that lion life, and listen, uncage that lion. All right, have a great one.